love letters. Oh, Jamie. Poor Jamie. Poor Jamie. If I'm not mistaken, this is only the second time we've ever seen Jamie in the series, and the first time that he's gotten a proper narrative to develop his character. And this is very much a Jamie episode, even though it focuses more on Stephen and Connie than any of the other characters present in the episode. This episode is about Jamie, this side character who is just now being reintroduced. And there's nothing wrong with that, and it's not that I dislike Jamie either, it's just that I don't particularly like him either. He's a perfectly fine character, and he does some perfectly entertaining things. It's just, unlike Lars and Ronaldo, I don't have any desire to see him given better characterization, because his characterization's already fine. And I don't just like him enough that I want to see him sometimes for no other reason than I like him, like some of the other human characters, like Sadie, for example. So because this is a Jamie episode, I'm just kind of indifferent to it because I'm kind of indifferent to Jamie himself. The basic plot of this episode is that Jamie has come back to town after trying to make it as an actor and is now delivering mail again, and he sees Garnet come up out of the ocean, and he has that love at first sight moment. He's now attracted to Garnet. He thinks he's in love with Garnet. But Garnet is completely uninterested because Garnet is already a romantic relationship. She isn't interested in being in a romantic relationship herself. That, and she's shown literally no interest in humans at all, really, above and beyond knowing that they exist and caring that they don't die. And then most of the rest of the episode is just these kind of Fillory scenes where, even though they could tell us in like 2 minutes that Jamie's hopelessly lovesick and Stephen and Connie are just making it worse, they do this letter writing thing twice. And then have this big Shakespearean balcony scene. And they're perfectly fine scenes. There's some visually interesting stuff in them, and there's some dialogue in them that's interesting. But they serve practically no purpose. Because Garnet had literally already written a letter to Jamie that would have let him down, not easy, but bluntly, and ended this whole thing before it got worse, until Stephen and Connie exacerbate the situation. And yeah, they've realized that they made things worse, and they feel bad about it. I guess I just find it a little annoying that an entire episode was dedicated to showing Stephen and Connie specifically in this case, accidentally making a guy miserable for just a couple of days, for really no comedic or dramatic payoff. I mean, there's a scene at the end where Garnet talks to Jamie directly, and again, makes it clear that their relationship isn't going to go anywhere, and is again harsh and blunt, but also fair and compassionate. She says some genuinely compassionate things during that conversation. And logically speaking, in the real world, this is what would have happened first, and this is where it would have ended. And yes, I know it's a cartoon. I know it's a television show. But this sort of artificial conflict inflation just really irks me. It's something that writers should try to avoid. But I do like the scene between Garnet and Jamie at the end. It's very good. And I do think it's worth pointing out that just a few episodes ago in Open Book, Connie made it pretty obvious that she's not some kind of hopeless romantic. Now granted, she was talking about a specific book series that she didn't feel like romance was really a part of, and how it took a sudden romantic turn. But it's still pretty clear that Stephen is the one of the two of them who is really into the sappy romantic stuff. That she isn't really into that kind of thing. And yet in this episode that starts out with her spending time with a certain young Mr. Universe, Connie is suddenly a sappy, hopeless romantic. I just kind of wonder if that means anything. All that said, guys, not one of my favorite episodes, but one that I don't hate either. It's just kind of middle of the road. An episode that I don't really care much about at all, but still isn't technically bad. What did you guys think of this episode? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.
Who's Garnet?